Joyful Miles, a channel that is all about inspiring others to enjoy life 1 mile at a time. It has been a while, but we are back with another episode of Jammin' on the Run, and this time we're discussing the Princess Half Marathon. I can't do it without my co-vloggers though, so everyone say hi to Rob, who,
Hello.
by the way, just got in for the New York Marathon. So excited about that. I cannot wait to see your recaps on that. And of course, we
Wait.
have Jackie.
Hi, everyone.
And we have Megan, who is going to be helping me
Hello.
out today because she participated in the 5K and 10K with her lovely daughter, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. So I know we are going to get very, very chatty with this one because we have a lot to cover. So I'm going to be breaking this down into separate videos, starting with the Expo and the 5K. Also, I want to send out a huge, huge, huge congratulations for everyone who completed the Princess Half Marathon, whether it was the 5K, 10K, half, or all of the above. And also, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who stopped and said hello and introduced themselves. I mean, that just makes our day when we get to meet actual viewers and subscribers and see them face to face. So thank you so much. So let's get going and talk about the Princess Half Marathon weekend.
Why don't we start, Laura, with where you like to start, and that's with the expo, where we like to throw our money away and buy as much stuff as we can get. So let's talk about this year's expo and what did you like, what didn't you like, how did it differ from different years?
Well, this year, last year, Sarah and I went to the expo first thing on Thursday morning. And if anyone is familiar with that year, it was crazy, insanely packed. And we decided that we were going to wait until the Disney merchandise came out. And that was like the day prior. And, it was very cute, but nothing that we just had to have. So we decided to go later on. So I'm guessing we got there at around 1 o'clock on Thursday, and it was still crowded, but not in an insane way. And I'm really glad we did. We kind of bucked tradition and went and got our bibs first, which normally we head straight to the Joseph building to get our merchandise. But pretty much everything was still in stock. The only thing that I knew of that had sold out was the I Did It for the kids size I Did It shirts. But they had plenty of magnets, challenge pins, wine glasses, the thing that people were fighting about last year. So it was a good decision. So I'm really glad that we went later on. Megan, when did you go again? You
I was there a little bit earlier than you. I think you got there. I saw the pictures right as we were leaving, so I don't know if you took them before or after. But I want to say we didn't get there. It was probably closer to noon, but we did go and get our bibs first. I think I stood in a merchandise line not in the Jocelyn Center, but actually in the field house to get.
mm,
I was standing in line. We looked at some of that stuff and then went down to get the bibs. I
yeah.
was trying to be somewhat strategic
The line
in
was
how we did
actually
it.
heavier on the field house side where the Run Disney merchandise was than on
Oh,
Jostens.
really?
There was hardly
Oh,
any line at
interesting.
Jostens when we went back over there.
I The only thing I really wanted to look at was the Misfit tracker. So I'd had a
Oh,
Fitbit and my Fitbit wasn't syncing. I couldn't get it to sync anymore with my phone. And so I kept researching before I went. So I was looking at smartwatches versus, the Misfit and those types of things. So that was the only thing I really wanted to go and look and see some of it in person. But I did end up getting, I actually have it on. I don't know if you can see it. I did get, because it's
it's
a little more
very
classy
pretty.
than it is rose gold apparently, and I that's the only thing I purchased. I didn't need anything, I didn't want anything, but I wanted to search. And I am actually, that was, sorry, it did it on command. It made a noise. My apologies for that.
I was gonna
It
say, what
tells
was
you
that
to
noise?
get up and it tells you to get up and move. But it also, the cool thing with this, and this isn't an advertisement, but it's going to sound like one, is they have another app you can put in and you can link it and it'll vibrate when you get a text. So there's no, like the one that I got, there's nothing on it. So you can't see it. It just syncs to your phone. It's through the app. But I find it kind of accurate for more so for sleep. And that's when I knew I only got like 3.5 hours of sleep each night when we were there for Princess once I got it, which probably is why I had no immunity left. But the interesting part of it, it tells you like how long it takes you to fall asleep, but then when you're light sleep versus restful sleep, which I think is probably, it was better for me than the Fitbit. But it does, I'm not constantly looking at it. And you can actually, I think Caitlin likes this better than me, that you can link it to do a selfie. You can tap it 3 times. So instead of having to push the button on your phone, I know it's, you know what, millennial, whatever, but you can tap it 3 times and it'll take a picture of a selfie instead of having to like hold your phone out and, you know, maneuver everything and push the button for those
That
of us.
sounds more complicated than the actual selfie taking.
Yeah, well, it's not complicated at all. It's actually pretty cool. But I like it because it vibrates when I get a text message or it tells me when to get up and move. But other than that, it helps me concentrate a little bit more because I'm not constantly looking at my phone. Okay, that was
It's
my.
very pretty too. It's not.
I like.
It's a nice piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't look like a tracker. It looks.
It's not.
It's like,
Yes, and that was actually really more of what my thought process was. I needed something that didn't look so fitness tracker-ish for work when I had to travel.
And it was very sweet the way you both had one, like a little
We
mother
do.
daughter thing.
That was not part of it. Was just really supposed to be for me, but it was more of a bargaining chip, and you know now we both have one and we match.
Nice. Now, Megan, when you were getting your bib, did you notice any of the characters out for photos? Because they were not out when we were over there.
No,
Yeah.
no, we did take a picture when we went to get our shirts, but other than that, there were no characters out when I went out.
No, I saw people. They were out during like Friday and Saturday, but not Thursday. So
I did not see any.
yeah, yeah. I know
It's
other people
usually
that got them.
the fairy godmother's usually there sprinkling pixie dust or something, and she was not. No pixie dust.
They were out after the one race. I think it was after the half that they were
Do you know what
doing that.
character you're out?
I don't. I can't remember. I just remember, seeing a comment from someone's blog about getting a picture and not seeing it. But it
I
was.
like that. They should do that, but that's not fair to you doing like multiple races because
But you could tell. You could definitely tell that it was a woman-oriented race because they had booths set up that they were selling champagne and very fancy cupcakes and plates of cheese and cracker. They had like these pink bottles of champagne that were $23 a bottle, but
Wow.
they were very
Wow.
pink and lured a lot of people in. But yeah, they had where you can get your nails polished, and it's kind of fun to see the
What?
different vibe for each race
that is
weekend.
really neat.
Oh yeah, yeah. They went all out. They had a really fun station set up for the Children's Hospital Network. That was one of the charities that was benefited by this race, and they had some guys that are taking pictures with the frame, and they were so funny. They kind of took my camera and did some videotaping, and we kind of dropped it like it's hot. But anyway, fun story. And of course, Jeff Galloway. We had to pay a little visit to him because he's just amazing. So it's pretty good.
You didn't get him to come on the show?
Yeah. I actually met a viewer who's afraid of him. Hey, Bob, how are you?
There you go.
Hook us up, Bob.
We're available.
But that was good. I mean, the expo, of course, you hear some horror stories, but for the most part, the lions were nice by the time we got there and tame, and we actually enjoyed this one. So it was fun. We had a good time.
good.
Cool. How would you rate the merchandise overall?
They had some jackets there. The commemorative jacket I really liked. I didn't order it because I didn't get to it before the cutoff. So a little hint for any of you who are doing the Princess Half next year, if you want commemorative items, make sure you order them by at least late June because they will sell out, and Run Disney does not give any warnings, which actually that would be nice if they did. They should give out a warning, hey, last call in a week, and I'm sure that would increase their sales. And also, while I'm at it, in case Run Disney is watching, bring back the mugs. We all want the Run Disney Princess Half Marathon mugs. But anyway, I thought the merchandise was really nice. It was really cute. The half marathon pin was a little lackluster, but I really liked it this year.
Cool. All right, so let's get to the 5K. Now, Laura, why don't you update us as to where you were with your injury, regards to your injury, and how your plan of attack was with these races?
Well, I did I saw my doctor, and I did get his clearance to walk every race as long as I wore a Hoka One One shoe, the kind that have the meta rocker in it with the front kind, so it relieves the pressure off of my metatarsal. And I taped my toe down and wore a metatarsal pad, so I was all jacked up. And I kind of went
That's
into it with the attitude where, at this point, Dopey is my number one. Dopey is my priority. I want to be healed for Dopey. So there was even a time when I was going to just pull out from the half, and I was going to take it day by day, one step at a time. And if I had to pull, I was going to pull. I was going to take care of my body. Um, and it was, well, we're going to get into this more later, but it was, it was different. I kind of got lost there for a second. I'm sorry. It definitely is a different experience for me, because I am someone who starts in the earlier corral. And even though I do stop for pretty much every character possible, I have the privilege of not having to deal with a lot of the crowds that people who are in the lower corrals do. And, now I can see what it's like from their perspective. And wow,
Mhm.
it's just such a difference. And it's very emotional. It was very stressful for me at times, and just, but we're going to get into that. But I went into it with a good attitude. It was what it was. It wasn't the races that I had planned or wanted, but I was grateful nonetheless.
Now this is an Epcot 5K, correct?
Hmm.
So what time did you all get there?
I'm waiting for Megan to say something because I do like to get there early so we can get a character picture. Megan, I think the buses started at 3:30, and we wanted to be at the bus stop fairly early. We didn't quite make that, but it seems like it's getting crowded earlier now. Maybe people have caught on to get there sooner, but it was so, so crowded when we got there. We were looking at the lines and we all knew we'd only have time for one character photo. So we got in line for, it was Snow, Megan, and it was rotating. She was rotating with another princess. Do you remember who that was?
No,
Okay.
because all that means to me is that if the lines are going to be that long, I can just sleep longer and not get up that early anymore. Because as I got up, I was like, why do I do this?
Because you love
That was,
it.
that was my thought process, and I'm like, and I had to do it 2 days in a row. I'm like, good grief.
It was very crowded but fun. The DJ had the energy up. We did get our picture with Snow White, and we got to see Carissa, John Pelkey, and Rudy come out and kick things off. So I love it. It's always so amazing to see so many people out there energized and excited and dressed in costume and just ready to run. I love it.
Do
And there
you
were a
think
lot
that,
of really good costumes. Sorry, Jackie. A
no,
lot
it's
of
good.
great
Do you
costumes.
think that the character lines pre-race are longer because it's like a face character and they kind of have to interact versus just nodding their heads a little?
I think sometimes they get a little chatty, and you kind of want to be like, you remind them that, come on now, let's pep this up a little bit. But they had two lines. They had four princesses out that they would rotate back and forth, and then they actually had two stations where they had the Princess Half Marathon banners, and the lines were even insane for those. And that was no character. That was just you going up, no CM taking your picture at that point, and it was crazy. It was very crowded. It seemed to be just crowded the whole weekend. It was a very crowded weekend.
Well, it
It
was
was very
also
good.
coinciding with February vacation,
Yeah.
wasn't it? The President's Day weekend,
Yep.
so you kind of had that aspect to it too. Um, so the race itself goes around Epcot. It goes. Do you guys know the course?
But we sort
It
of
goes,
Sorry, Megan.
yeah,
We
go ahead.
did. We have to mention this part because it's kind of funny. Usually, I like to get to the corrals early because I like to be near the front to get good video. And we got so carried away getting the picture and chatting and taking video that our corral went off without us. And the one guy's like, "Corral A just left," and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, the race is about to start." So we all took off, even me. So not smart. We took off right, and then we walked the corner, and people were still staggering up, so we didn't miss anything, but that was kind of a little bit of a panic. And they also changed up how they did the corrals. They started this with marathon weekend, but they did mini waves in each corral. So Megan, do you remember how many were in corral A? Was it three or four?
There were There were three, and we were in
Okay,
the third by that point.
right. What was your thoughts on that, Megan? Did you like that? Because you were able to run. I had to stay back. So how was that for you as a runner?
Do you know what? I think as a runner, I think just in general, it was probably better now. Being in the first part of your wave, I think would have been even better in whatever corral you were in. But in general, I think it's just because it's less people, and we were clearly at the back at the back of wave three since we had to run up to get to that corral. But it was congested. Like
Hmm.
it was a congested race. I know we're not talking about the 10K, but the 10K I thought was even more congested than the
Yes.
5K.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
crazy.
wonder why, like compared to other, do they sell more
It's a big
or
I
race
is it?
don't.
weekend, but still, just
Yeah.
hmm
And maybe I was, the last time I ran the 10K was, well, I guess I put wine and dine out of my head, but when I when I think about marathon weekend in 2016, I think I was just so focused on my own race that I wasn't necessarily thinking about it. I was more cognizant of it because I was running with Caitlin. And it's easier for me to weave around or dodge around people as a single, a
hmm
singlet, shall we say. But I was more concerned, making sure she didn't trip on one of the reflectors on the road or getting trampled by somebody, and that we were staying at the same speed. So my thought process was a little bit different because it was different, obviously, running with her.
Makes sense.
We need to do a video of that topic of running with your children at these Run Disney races. That would be a good one for you to take care of, Megan.
Yeah, especially for like these
Absolutely.
5Ks and 10Ks.
Yeah, putting it on the list.
So the course.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
you
that's what we're talking about.
start in the Epcot parking lot, and then you go into World Showcase through. Was it Mexico for the 5K?
I
Did you do
believe
Mexico
so.
and
Yeah,
clockwise around World
yeah.
Yes.
Showcase?
It's
Yes.
always so magical where you hear the music and you see the lights of the
Oh,
trees, and then you come around and you see the cast members waving at you, and you make the turn, and oh, everything just looks so lit up and pink and just oh, so beautiful. Always gives me chills.
I love
Look at,
running around World Showcase Lagoon
Yeah.
was
when
it
they
different
have like
than
the
the Wine and Dine 5K?
So the 5K is you do go around World Showcase, and then you come out. You do go out International Gateway, and then you come out right alongside. So instead of going out like Boardwalk, you loop right around,
Okay.
and
yeah,
come
you go
out
around
right,
that back entrance
and then you come
space
back
station.
in between England and Canada. So you come in around England
Right.
through the secret back door, um, the back place right by the phone booths, for the 5K, and then you finish up. You run through Canada, and then you come out and finish at the standard finish line when anything ever is in Epcot. But you do, I think for the 5K, Laura, correct me if I'm wrong. You do the loop in the 5K. You run back by um, the Living with the Land
Yes,
and
in front of
and the Feast with
Nemo.
Me,
Yes, you do.
and
You
then
do
you
that. Hmm.
you
That's
come
cool.
back and loop through that just to get that extra like half mile for the additional mileage, and then you
Yes.
you come back and you go past Spaceship Earth and finish alongside.
Yes.
I think this one finished. Did it finish to the left or to the right? So one of the races, and I correct me if I'm wrong. I think it actually finished to the left of World Showcase, and I thought it was always not World Showcase, of Spaceship Earth. So usually I'm used to it finishing on the right hand side because that's usually where I stop for my jump shot.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was on the left this time, so I had to reposition. So I knew exactly where to stop if it were on the right hand side. So on the left, very important thing. So we stopped and took pretty good jump shots
They were great
when
jump shots.
I was very proud of them, if I do say so myself. I'm getting them better. And then we finished up, alongside, the traditional, the finish line for the 5K. That was the race course. It's a good race course.
I always love it. And I do have something to bring up. That part that you talked about where it does loop around in front of Living with the Land and Nemo. I know we talked about this before, how the verbiage on the Run Disney website said that you have to maintain a 16-minute mile. And people are asking, well, does that mean that you're going to be swept? When by the time I came through there, it was so late in the race that I actually did see golf carts. One was carrying race signs that they were going through and collecting, but the other had walkers who they had picked up and brought to that one point, and rather than making them loop around that, they were allowed to re-enter the course there. So while
Oh,
you
interesting.
might be picked up, you're not necessarily swept. You are allowed to finish the race. I did get this on video, but I did not. I chose to not show this on my race recap, just out of respect for those. I don't know. I didn't quite feel comfortable posting that moment, but to let you know, in case you're wondering, that there is a chance that you might be picked up in a golf cart, even though you're in Epcot and taken to another spot of the course. So, little FYI.
At least they let you kind of keep going.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
let you finish, right? So
Yeah.
it's a 5K. It's
It
supposed
was
to be
it's
fun.
cool. You know what? I'll tell you what. I don't get buggered. I'm just glad that they were able to finish and get that medal and have that moment. So I think that was great. Very cool of
Right.
And
them.
the finished medal was awesome. And it
Oh,
was, and I like medals because clearly I wouldn't do it just to do it. But the, this medal was really cool. So I know we've talked before how Run Disney has changed the medals from a rubber type medal to, an actual medal.
hmm.
Although funny story as an aside is when I went through security, it does not set off the security when you go through the metal detectors into the parks. And you would think it does, and then I had a very long conversation with the security guards how
Yeah.
it's clearly not real metal, and they said it would still hurt if you hit them in the head with it. But anyway, as an aside, it was chip, and
Yeah.
kind of cool because
So
even more
cute.
cool for me because Caitlin and I dressed as Chip and Mrs. Potts. So it was, I mean, the mile marker signs were just, they
Hmm.
were adorable.
Did you
Chip's
know
just so
that
darn.
going in when you came up with
Not
the
when
idea
I
of what you guys were going to dress as?
No, I remember marathon weekend when I was running. I think it was marathon weekend, or maybe it was Wine and Dine, where I saw somebody running Chip and Miss. I was like, that would be so cute to run Chip and Mrs. Potts because I knew that we were doing it together. And so, marathon weekend, when I was killing time, that's when I was looking at stuff online. But I did not know the medals at that point were going to be Chip.
So cute. They were adorable medals. And
Mm.
pink lanyards. How could you not love that? But something
It
else,
was
did
cute.
you stop for any character photos, Megan?
Um, we stopped for Dopey. Well, we were, and I left it up to, it was Caitlin's race, so I totally let her choose. She did not want to stop for a lot of them, but we saw Kelly and Stephanie. They yelled to us we were going to stop in Dopey, and then she said she wasn't going to wait in that long line. And then we saw Stephanie and Kelly, and they were already closer to the front, so we just hopped in a picture
Yeah.
with them. We got in line with them and hopped in. And then we were in line for some others, but she refused to wait, so then we just kept going. There were some I think I got her to do, but not many. I did make her stop for jump shots. But I did
Oh, yeah.
educate her on, the little green, like fluorescent green things. Those are the picture people, so you need to, let some space in front of you so you can get a good
It's
picture.
all about the
By
pacing.
the time by the time we got to the 10K, I think I had her a little more trained. So
There you go. But she did not want to stop. The first stop was the Vikings. They were very,
right,
very
I saw.
funny.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would have liked to stop with them.
there was no cast member there though, so my picture turned out very, very white. But Stephanie and Kelly got a very cute one. And then the next one up was Dopey. The line was insane. Oh my goodness, the line was so long. But I had to stop because my attitude was it's a 5K. I'm going to stop for every single picture that there is. Um, then the next one up, I think, Rob, this was right before I FaceTimed you.
Oh, right.
You're probably like, what? It was Abu from,
Okay, and
yeah,
Aladdin.
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 And next up, then, which one is the one in the blue? Is that Perla from Cinderella, the
Yeah,
mice? It was
I think
both.
it's
It was
Pearl.
both mice. What is the other one's name again?
Pearl is the pink one, just because we had a picture with her in Disneyland.
What was the other
Pearl.
one's name though? Anyway, they were out. They were rotating, but a few people got a
Aw.
picture with both of them. I got the blue dress, and then
Great.
but that was it. Oh, I forgot. They had in front of Nemo, they had the choral dancers from the was it the Festival of Fantasy? They were out there, and that they were very colorful, very pretty. That made for a very lovely picture. So, and that was it. But yeah, But they did have the princesses after the race, though. So I got a picture, I think another picture with Snow White afterwards. So
Did they have a character at the finish line? You know how they usually have like Mickey.
I didn't see
I
one
didn't,
when I didn't see one at all
I didn't see one either.
because
Usually it's
I
when I'm actually,
specifically looked.
yeah, when I'm editing the video, that's when I notice all these things. So, but I didn't see anything. But they did have John Pelkey and Rudy. And by the time I got there, it was very late in the race, and they played the Imperial March for me because I was wearing a Darth Vader costume. So that was pretty cool. That was a very very nice moment. So thank you
Cool.
guys. And then
My
after
favorite.
finishing, we got our medal, and then I might have had a little bit of a mini breakdown, just because it's such a different experience. And I don't want you this in any disrespect for people who do walk these races all the time, but when
Right.
you're accustomed to running, I'll say it, I'm competitive, and it's so crowded and it's a different experience and it's stressful. It just, so I kind of had a little bit of a breakdown. I had a moment there. So, which if you saw the recap, you saw the moment. Wait till you see the half because that moment was bigger. But, all in all, I'm just grateful to be out there. Megan, I'm so glad you got to experience with your daughter, and that's the memories for a lifetime. So,
She had a blast. I think she was more concerned with where everybody else was in the race, making sure that they were past the mile marker. Do you think this person's? I'm like, I don't know. It's your race. Can we just run it? So she was very concerned about everybody else, but she had a really good time.
aw. Yeah, Stephanie kept sending me texts. Where are you? Are you okay? Where are you? Are you okay? Because usually I run with Kelly and Stephanie. I'm gonna put a picture of them up now. But yeah, they kept texting me. I sent them a picture about the 2 mile marker, and it's like an hour and 33 minutes, and they're already done. But it was good. So that is going to wrap us up for this episode of Jammin' on the Run. Thank you very much for watching and for supporting us. We all appreciate it truly. Please subscribe so you can get more video updates, because in our next video, we are going to be talking about the 10K, the Enchanted 10K. Until then, please give this thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Take care and have a joyful day.